All right, let's talk about those new iPad keyboards, or the new iPad keyboard. Technically, it is two new iPad keyboards because it's the 11-inch and the 12.9-inch, but again, it's the exact same thing, just two different sizes. Same situation as the 2020 iPad Pros. Now, this new Magic Keyboard seems to be getting a lot more attention than the actual iPads themselves. The reason I did not cover them in the 2020 iPad Pro video is because they're not unique to the 2020 iPad Pros. If you look at Apple's website, they make it pretty clear it is compatible with the third and fourth generation 12.9-inch iPad Pro and the first and second generation 11-inch iPad Pro, which means that you can use this new keyboard with the 2018 iPad Pros. And I don't think a lot of people realize that, so I wanted to make that very clear. These keyboards are not just for the new iPad Pros, they work with the 2018s as well. So basically, if you bought a top-of-the-line iPad Pro in the last, 18 months, then you can use this keyboard. So that is why I didn't talk about this keyboard with the new iPad Pros, because it's not really a part of the new iPad Pros. It's not even releasing at the same time as the new iPad Pros. It's just an accessory that works with the new iPad Pros, but also works with older iPad Pros as well. So what exactly is going on with this Magic Keyboard? Well, a lot. Like, literally a lot. Like, I think if I were to count out the number of new features in the MacBook Air, iPad Pros, and the Magic Keyboard that were all announced on Wednesday, then I think the Magic Keyboard has the most quantity of new things going for it. So first and foremost, trackpad. Now, people have been asking for mouse and trackpad support on the iPad for a long time. I've been kind of indifferent to it because I'm fine to touch the screen. That just works for me on the iPad. But people did find some very basic mouse and trackpad support hidden in the accessibility menus of iOS 13, aka iPad OS 13. And that made people pretty excited because they thought that official mouse support would be coming soon, and official mouse and trackpad support is coming to the iPad in iPadOS 13.4 whenever that releases. And it is my understanding that that's not just for this Magic Keyboard, that any type of external Bluetooth trackpad or mouse that's able to connect to the iPad via Bluetooth will work with this mouse and trackpad support. That's my understanding. So apparently you can use any mouse or trackpad with your iPad now as long as you have the proper connection. There's a really nice video that Craig Federighi did, who is a guy who works for Apple. I don't know his official title offhand, but he had a really nice video explaining how the trackpad and mouse support is going to work in iPadOS 13.4, and he is way over the top in the way he presents it. He acts like it's the most magical thing that's ever happened to the tech universe, when it's obviously not. But then again, he's trying to sell a product, so you can't really blame him. But it is a nice video that shows off how the trackpad support works, so I'd recommend trying to find that if you can. So trackpad right in a keyboard case, that's pretty nice, and I don't think we've really seen anything quite like that before. Next, the keys are using a scissor mechanism. I'm pretty dang sure that the Smart Keyboard and Smart Keyboard Folio, all the previous iPad keyboards were using a butterfly mechanism. This is using that scissor mechanism introduced with the 16-inch MacBook Pro and also coming to the MacBook Air in 2020 just now. That's what this thing has as well. Also, fully backlit keyboard. That's another complaint I've heard a lot about the iPad keyboards that Apple makes, is that they are not backlit. But this keyboard is backlit, so you're sitting with your iPad late at night, the keys light up, you don't have to find a flashlight to type. Oh yeah, and it floats. Not like the keyboard, like the iPad floats. At least that's how they described it. I don't know, a lot of people seem to care about this. I don't really get the point. I guess it's just super adjustable, so you can kind of adjust the iPad however you want, but I mean, it floats above the keyboard. That's pretty cool. See, I'm just concerned that when I went to touch the screen, it would move, but I don't know, maybe that's just a me problem. Oh, but you wouldn't need to touch the screen because you have a trackpad. But then what's the point of having an iPad? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to tear this product apart because I actually think it looks really good. Like, I'd much rather have a Magic Keyboard than the Smart Keyboard Folio, to be completely honest. Okay, feature I'm most excited about. It seems like every time a new product's announced, the feature I'm most excited about is something that no one else cares about because I'm a sucker for the weird, pointless things. But this keyboard has a built-in USB-C port that can be used for charging. I don't think it works for data transfer. I think it is a charging-only port, but that's still pretty cool. See, one of the coolest things about this new MacBook Pro that I got earlier this year, at least for me, is that there are USB-C ports on both sides of the computer that are both capable of charging the computer, because you have no idea Actually, you probably have a very solid idea because most people use devices like this. But when the charging port's only on one side, and then your outlet, the electrical outlet you're plugging the cord into is on the other side, so then you have to run the cord really weird around to get to the charging port on your computer, well, that's not a problem anymore when you can plug in your computer on either side. And the USB-C port built into the, I almost said smart keyboard, Magic Keyboard is on the opposite side of the standard port that's right in the iPad Pro. So with this keyboard case, you can charge from either side. I know that's probably something only I care about. What Apple seemed to be advertising is that you can charge the iPad Pro using the USB-C port in the Magic Keyboard, and that saves the USB-C port in the actual iPad Pro for accessories. So you could charge your iPad while reading an SD card or something like that, which is pretty nice. I still think they should just put 2 USB ports on the iPad Pro, but I get that's a space concern. There's only so much internal space inside the casing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I love how I finish every single one of these videos by going, yeah, that's pretty much it. But I mean, that is pretty much it. But there's a lot. Trackpad, backlit keyboard, scissor mechanism, floating design, I don't know exactly how you're supposed to say that, and USB-C port built into the keyboard is kind of a game changer in my opinion. All those features do come at a price though. This thing's going to run you $300 for the 11-inch version, and if you have a 12.9-inch iPad Pro, you're going to be forking out $350. But hey, it is a very well-featured device, and Apple is making the Smart Keyboard Folio available to anybody with a 2020 iPad Pro. What I mean by that is they're changing the camera cutout so that the square camera on the 2020 iPad Pro fits in the Smart Keyboard Folio as well. That's the only thing they're changing, but if you just want to spend a little bit less money, you don't care about the trackpad, backlit keys, floating design, USB-C port. If you just want a keyboard, then you can save some money by getting a Smart Keyboard Folio for your 2018 or 2020 iPad Pro. The Smart Keyboard Folio, that being the keyboard with the 2018 iPad Pro that's just being updated right now, that is ready to order and will ship with the 2020 iPad Pros at the end of March. The Magic Keyboard, the one with the trackpad, backlit keyboard, USB-C port, floating thingy, everything I just talked about, that keyboard's coming in May. Yeah, that's all they said. We have no specific release date. It's just coming in May, guys. You can't even pre-order it. That's kind of weird. No pre-ordering. It's just coming in May. At least we have confirmation this will actually be a thing, unlike AirPower. Please don't be AirPower 2.0. Anyways, as usual, say anything in the comments. I'll either respond, or if it's inappropriate, I'll delete it. And I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.